How long have we been doing this for and it's still dicey? Still don't know. Let's see if I can get the intro better today.
Okay, go for it.
G'day everyone and welcome to Best Team Men. I'm Matthew Burgess and across me...
I'm trying to absorb what you were saying. Keep going, it's great.
G'day everyone and welcome to Best Team Men.
G'day everyone.
G'day everyone, welcome to Best Team Men. I'm Matthew Burgess. Across from me is Jared Walsh. Jared, how you going?
Yeah, really good. Episode 3?
4.
Episode 4, Season 2, 2020. This is great. I've noticed something over the past 7 days.
Hit me.
There's a lot of podcasts going around Adelaide, sports podcasts as well.
Yes.
And we are definitely one of them.
Yeah, I hope so.
But that's about it. I think we're not a serious sports podcast. We're just a couple of lads having a chat.
Yeah.
That got to know one another through working in nightclubs, and we focused on sport. We're not hard hitting.
No.
It's just for a bit of fun.
Bit of fun. There's no news. We're not going to break anything.
No, it's just we don't have segments really.
Not really.
It's just having a chat. It's
Yeah.
about 20 minutes. I actually had from Ben from Nexus. Now Nexus is like an elite training organisation,
Okay.
and they train down at Peak.
Yep.
At Port Adelaide, and he said he listens to the podcast.
Hey.
Benny.
How you going, Benny?
Legend.
Love
so
that.
he said he really liked it. So a lot of people are having a listen to
Great.
it.
Hey, I'm just going to go straight off the top here.
Okay.
Now, you don't know about this,
Yeah.
but I found us a venue
What do you mean?
for our reunion show.
Well, okay. So set this up really quickly, though. If this is the first time people have heard this podcast, how we've got to the point of needing a venue for something.
Well, obviously, you and I were working in nightclubs together.
Yep.
I was DJing, you were MCing, and that's how we met. These establishments weren't overly popular, weren't very busy.
No, there were more bar staff than patrons.
Yes. So we spent most of our time entertaining ourselves
Yep.
and talking about sport and all that sort of stuff. which
Checking
is how-
footy scores?
Yeah, footy scores, overseas sporting events, and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we've decided that we wanted to throw a night in remembrance of those days.
Yeah.
And it was my task to find us a venue.
Yep.
And I've done that.
This is amazing because you talked this up last week, and I got a message from you last
Yep.
night saying I found a venue.
And we're on.
Because normally, can we just talk about very quickly? Last year we made so many false promises,
Oh, so many.
but I'm proud of what we've done this season. We
Yeah.
are into episode 4. Fuck, you know what? Let's not call it episode 4. Let's call it round 4.
Yes.
Round 4.
Look at that. We're making things up on the fly.
And we're doing stuff and we're making things happen because even though I'm late most of the time, which I'm not usually late to anything, so I was
No.
just a bit late today.
That's all right.
We're approaching this with a really serious attitude, and we're doing things, which is great. So, drum roll.
The great people and the great man, Shane Hogan, is going to let us in at the Alma on a Saturday night.
No!
Yes.
Wait, that's a real venue.
It's a real venue
where
with
people go.
A lot of people are going to be there.
How did this happen?
I just rang him.
Shane Hogan
Shane
gave
Hogan.
me a gig alongside Glenn Aikman and Daniel Boland years
Well, that
and
won't
years
happen
ago.
anymore because Glenn's in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they have a disco night
dodgy.
for him.
Every episode, we're going to reflect Glenn Aikman being in prison.
jail, yeah.
Be so funny if
Be
they
like,
did.
be like a blue light disco for the inmates.
Be hilarious if they did a quick background check on him if he was applying for a job and they go, this name's mentioned in this podcast.
Yeah,
Let's hear.
Why was he in jail?
Wow, that's great. So
Yes.
we once... Did we do that together one night for like a Western cowboy themed night?
We used to do Fridays there every
Yes,
week.
we did, and no one went there.
No.
Horrible.
one. Not even the bar staff turned up.
It was so bad. And I remember we went... They had a Saturday night, there was like a Western theme, cowboy and Western. And I had pre-workout.
Okay, so you're up and about.
Yeah, and I got to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning. That's back in the old days when
Yeah.
people used to have pre-workout and
Yes.
stuff. So,
Yep.
well, that's great.
So that's it. We're on for a Saturday. We just have to come together and work out the date.
Okay.
But we'll give it enough lead in time. So
That's
that
big time.
That's big news, yeah.
A Saturday night at the Alma, we will put on an event. It's going to be great. And so we'll catch up with Shane Hogan.
Yes. We'll have finer details by next week.
Brilliant.
We'll have a date set that works for both of us.
Okay.
And hopefully Glenn gets release day and he can come and we'll have a good night.
That is brilliant. Okay, so let's get into the stuff we want to talk about for round 4, which
Round
we've
4.
decided we're going to call it
Yes.
now. Over the weekend, did you watch the charity match, the T10, the bushfire appeal game, the cricket one?
I saw some snippets. I was at a family lunch
Yeah.
at a pub and it was on, and I was trying to look past my wife's shoulder and not
Yeah.
engage in conversation with her so I could watch it. So I saw bits and pieces of it, yeah.
I loved it. Can I give you a bit of backstory about this? Because I was supposed to MC it.
Right.
So long story
That'd
short,
be probably the only thing you haven't emceed this year.
I was a bit dirty about it as well. So basically, I was contacted and they said, look, we want you to do the BBL final.
Final?
Yeah, so the BBL final I did last year.
Yep.
And they wanted me to do it again. And this was going to be a pre-game to the BBL final. So because the Sixers were hosting it, it would have been this T10 game.
Yep.
And then they would go straight into the BBL final. It turns out that the Sixers were going to do their own game day for the BBL final, which I completely understand, as they should. Matt DeGroot, who is the MC for that, he's a great MC. So brilliant, not dirty at that at all. But then they moved the game. They moved the charity game to Junction Oval in Melbourne.
Right.
Because of
On
the
the
weather,
Sunday.
because of the rain was going to be so bad.
Yeah.
So they just needed to move it. And the women's game was being played at Junction Oval as well. So it kind of makes sense. So I was only dirty because I really wanted to do it, because you actually get to walk around and speak to all of these people. The guy who ended up doing it, Glenn Hawke, he's basically the voice of international cricket. He's brilliant, great guy as well. So he's a way better MC than I am. But what I found I didn't like about the game, the moment I thought, okay, it's kind of taken a bit of shine off it. So Warney said that he can't do it, so he didn't play. But when you start rolling out the likes of Sachin Tendulkar,
Yeah.
Wasim Akram, Yuvraj Singh, Ricky Ponting, Adam Gilchrist, Matthew Hayden, Justin Langer, Andrew Simons, like big dogs,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. They're the guys we grew up watching.
Yeah. Followed by Luke Hodge,
Nick Rewalt.
Cameron Smith. These are just Melbourne personalities that were just filling holes.
Yeah. They were just in town on the day. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, do you want to come and have a hit? Well, we're just playing a bit of cricket
yeah.
at Junction Oval, and Sachin Tendulkar's playing.
You want to roll some over? Yeah.
Mate, that kind of took the shine off it for me. They seem like, I've met Nick Revolt once in Shanghai.
Yep.
Great guy.
Yep.
So I'm not trying to discredit them, but I think that took a bit of...
Let's be honest, they're not walking in that company.
No. So that was a bit disappointing. I don't even think Sids was supposed to play, Peter Siddle, but he was in Melbourne at the time anyway. So,
But at least he's a cricketer. At least he's taken an international hat trick.
Yeah, it was good to watch. I think they should have played a T20 though, because it went too fast.
I was going to say T10 seems a bit short, especially if it became its own standalone game.
Yeah.
With that caliber of players, they probably could have pushed it out to a 20 over.
Well, there's a name I left off that list.
Okay.
And his name is Brian Lara. And I've got a story about Brian Lara.
Okay. Is it clean?
I've met Brian Lara. And this is...
Before? Like how long ago?
When he was playing.
So when he was Brian Lara.
When he was Brian Lara.
Okay.
You won't believe this story.
Okay. I've been hanging for this because you've warned me about it.
So, before Adelaide Oval had their big revamp, we just played footsies under the table. It's totally fine. Yeah. You remember when the one-day internationals used to be tri-series?
Yes.
So you would play the minor rounds and then there would be the final.
Yep.
Okay, so this was a tri-series of Australia, West Indies, Zimbabwe.
Yep. They would two countries tend to come out all the time together, didn't
Yes.
they? So it was always like New Zealand, South Africa always came out together.
Yeah, and Adelaide Oval normally got the rough end of the stick. It's the same as when I lived in Tassie at Bellerive.
Yeah.
We'd get the two visiting teams. They'd play against one another at Bellerive. So for this game, it was West Indies and Zimbabwe.
Right.
So my old man was commentating for the ABC at the time, and I went to the game with him. And I was sitting in the ABC commentary box. And my biggest challenge of that day was it was free food, free catering. So I ate 12 fruit salads that day because you could just go up and ask for one. And I'm like, I have another one. Another one. I had to get someone else to get one for me. So I had 12 fruit salads. So I was on the shitter for the rest of the night. Before that happened, I had decided to wear a Zimbabwe playing shirt. Because my dad had been to Zimbabwe to commentate the cricket the year before.
Right.
So it was still the current shirt that they were wearing.
The one-day one?
The one-day one. I've still got it at home.
Is it the
It's
one
got
with
Johnson
like
on the back, so
the
it's a player one.
Like the lightning bolt?
Yes.
Yep.
So the game finishes. I'm pretty sure Zimbabwe won.
Okay.
And the role of my dad was to go and do some post-match interviews in the change rooms with both teams.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if you can remember the way that Adelaide Oval used to be for the cricket sides. Instead of going down into the dugout, they used to have to go up the stairs to where like the committee room kind of is now, in between the two AFL coaches' boxes. So we both went down there just before the last ball was bowled. So he was ready to go to do the interviews.
Yeah.
So I've gone with him.
How old are you at this stage?
I would have been 18, 19.
Yep.
So game's finished. I'm standing there outside the Zimbabwean change rooms, as in where like the viewing area.
Yeah.
The game finishes, and one by one, the West Indian players start walking towards me.
Right.
Because little did I know that half of the Zimbabwean squad hadn't left their viewing area yet.
Okay.
So as you do at the end of a game of cricket, you both walk towards each other, cross paths, and shake hands.
Yep. I'm with you.
I somehow got caught up in that, and I shook the hand of every West Indian cricketer.
I thought you were a player.
Including Brian Lara, who looked me in the eye and said, "Well played." And at that point, do you respond by saying, "I didn't play"? Because now if I'm at a port function and someone says, "Can you sign this?" the first thing I say is, "I'm not a player."
Yeah.
So do I say I didn't play, or do I say thank you so much?
At 18, 19 years old, you say thank you
I said thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So Brian Lara thought I played against him. Shook my hand. Well played.
Well played.
Unbelievable.
That tells me one of two things. He doesn't give a stuff who he's playing against.
Exactly.
He hasn't recognised you at all.
Yeah.
So he has no respect for his opposition. Or he actually was being really nice, and even though he didn't know who you are, still thought you were a player and said, well played.
Unbelievable. I think Marlon Samuels was in that side as well.
That's a good side. Carl Hooper?
No. I don't. Oh, maybe Carl Hooper was. I don't know. But that's how I met Brian Lara.
Right. Oh, actually, it's funny that you say that because I actually hadn't heard you tell that story, but it takes me back. I was playing a late set at Red Square one night. Started at 4:30 in the morning, and it was about midnight, and this bloke came and said, "Great set tonight, mate." Oh, cheers. I haven't played yet, but that's all right.
You just go with it.
You're 4.5 hours
I
early.
thought you were about to say it was Brian Lara. He said, "Great set." Wouldn't surprise me.
It wasn't Brian Lara at all.
Oh,
that's a
man.
belter. What other celebrities have you've crossed paths with? A few, haven't you? Obviously, you met LeBron.
I met LeBron James. Yes,
That's a big one.
that was a big one. That was a pretty special moment. Yeah, look, mate. When I lived in Tassie, because Tassie is such a small city,
Yep.
and my dad worked in radio and sport there, so I used to go everywhere with him. So we were at a point where when the Aussie cricket team came over, they would refer to me by name and say, "Hey, how you going, Jared?" So even still, like Justin Langer now, just because I was a kid there growing up. I remember once Dean Jones was on Bellerive Oval warming up, and he said, "Mate, do you mind helping me out?" And I was walking around the boundary at that time. This is warm up for the game.
Yep.
He wanted me to throw some balls at him so he could just block them.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, cool, no worries. I was like a 12-year-old kid, no worries. It's totally fine. So what I've done is I've got the ball and I've thrown it, and he's blocked it back at me. Little did I know that the cricket ball was going to fire back at me and hit me in the shin. And at that point, you know when you're a kid and someone says, "Are you okay?" and you try to say yes, but you're crying. And you're like, "Yeah, no, I'm good, mate." Yeah. Horrible. Hated it. Ian Healy came to our house for dinner one night.
Really?
Yeah.
He was my hero. Don't ask me why.
He was
but
great.
He was.
And what I thought I would do to be a real hero at that time was go into my bedroom while my family was eating dinner and write one of those Toyota signs that you were supposed to hold up. So I've made a homemade one. I'm like, "Hey, Healy, what do you think of this?" And it was something like, "You think you've won the war," and I've spelt it like Mark and Steve Orr, "but we have a rifle." Like, it was so shit.
Yeah, because people that used to have to... Remember there was a competition for the one days where if you made your own sign...
Exactly, with the Toyota logo on it.
And you won money. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, but I didn't win anything apart from Ian Healy wanting to leave my house really quickly.
He's like, "Oh, who's this kid?"
I know.
I remember seeing one, there was like, the old... "This is a warning.
Yeah.
You're about to go to war." Oh, mate. There was some really
good days.
Real classic
Was
ones
it you
there.
talking to me about when you used to hit the Mercantile Mutual sign?
Yeah.
That was great.
You got money or something, like you got $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
If you caught it in the crowd, you won We won something else.
Yeah.
Mercantile Mutual Cup was that was where it was at. That's my earliest memories of cricket.
Can we talk why you've got notes?
Yes.
This is the first time I've seen you
because
bring in preparation.
Because you were 15 minutes late and I had nothing to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it's been a good round so far.
It has been a good round. But what's a week in sport without an Adelaide team choking in a final? The baseball, the Adelaide Giants.
I've never been to a Giants game.
I've been to one.
They've certainly Glen 20 these microphones, by the way.
Yeah, well, they have to. They smell good. I went to one in the last few years. I used to go to them all the time at Nord Oval.
Yep.
But since they've moved, this was my first one. And I've done some research because Adelaide teams tend to choke on the big stage.
I'm going to film this because, we never film this stuff.
No.
So I'm going to film this and I'll chuck it up on the socials.
Yep.
Where do I see this? Hold on. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, wow.
You keep talking.
Yes. So I've gone from the last 20 years. So this is from... Oh, we're right. This is from the year 2000.
Bring that thing round here.
Oh, hang on. You talk while I get that.
Okay. While Maddie's getting the pull-up banner, we'll talk about Alice Cooper in a second as well, because there's a fair bit happening during the week.
It's weighted down.
It's weighted down? Yeah. Is there another... Oh, hold on. I was going to take something off the wall. What about the thing behind the cupboard? Yep. They're going to thank us for this later. Yep, put that there. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Does that work?
That works.
You're just going to have to lean in. Okay.
I'll just hold it.
Yeah,
There we go.
okay.
There we go. Well, I'll hold it right there.
All right, sorry. Now talk about
That's
the
all right.
teams choking. Go.
So from the year 2000 to 2020, okay, SA have had 16 finals,
You have done your homework.
right? 16.
Yes.
This is across the NBL, the A-League, the baseball,
Yep.
the AFL,
Yep.
Big Bash, and netball.
Just to let you know, everybody watching right now, he's done his notes.
I've
It's
done my
amazing.
notes.
Even though at the top he wrote NBA,
Oh, no.
the Adelaide 36ers aren't
You
in.
didn't see that. That was just, yeah.
No, it was really good. Yeah.
But out of the 16, we've only won 6, lost 10 in finals. So, and I didn't even look at how many semi-finals we've choked in.
Prelims.
All that sort of stuff. So we're going at 6 out of 16.
That's not good.
No.
How many finals have you played in sport? Like grand finals? And what's your win-loss?
3. And I've won 2.
So you're 2 and 3.
2 and 1 out of 3.
Ah.
Yeah.
What?
I've played in 3.
Okay.
I've won 2.
Just waving that around. I've played in an under-15s grand final. 1.
Yep.
1 seniors lost. 3 seniors won. So I'm 4 and 2.
Okay. So we're both in the positive.
4 and 2. 4 and
20.
4.
Oh.
You're
It's lunchtime.
Yeah. Well, that's good homework. So
Yeah,
how do we
so-
fix that problem?
I don't know. They just need to win the clutch games.
Okay. Well, there you go. If you're
Basically.
listening from an Adelaide
But
sport
no,
team.
that was just, yeah, I noticed that the baseball team got done on the weekend and
Yeah.
it just made me go back and have a look at, because I seem to recall more Adelaide teams losing finals than they are winning them.
Well, we need to get on an Adelaide team, and I put this out on Facebook during the week.
Yeah.
Mate, we got a response. So you've done your homework and I've done mine. So basically, I've just said so I'm looking for the Port Adelaide area north of West Lakes, because if this is the first time listening to Best Team Men, we want to champion.
We want to camp in your backyard.
We want to camp in your backyard. So here's what people are saying.
Okay.
The Portland Football Club. Now, I'm pretty sure...
They had their chance.
Yeah. No, well, I had
We had
my
our
chance
chance,
because
yeah.
I stuffed it. So Kim Gaylard has said he wants on board. Okay, so Gary says to go to
Gaz?
the Port Hockey Club, which I just can't do. Okay.
Are they like a rival?
They're a
for you?
rival, yeah, they're
okay.
right. But I'm at a point where I think my daughter might play there because they're a very good club.
okay, yeah.
The Steel United Soccer Club, apparently they've got cold beer and a kit. So I don't know where
Steel United.
I don't know where that is. North Haven Footy Club have got in touch.
Great bakery out
They're
there.
Okay.
Yep.
Smosh West Lakes.
Okay.
They're
St. Michael's.
yeah,
Yep.
but they're I
Did
don't
you go
know.
to school there?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Well, there's a connection.
Woody South Cricket Club.
Okay. Well, that's
The Woodville Wasps Rugby Union Club. The Port Pirates Soccer Club. Now, this is one that we need to think about, okay? I'm leaning towards the Port Pirates Soccer Club at the moment. They've got new facilities, incredible facilities.
Okay. I think we steer clear of cricket teams, considering it's the end of the season.
Yeah, good point. Port Pirates, I think we need to investigate further.
I'm happy with that.
There's lots to do there.
I reckon we get a couple of their players and try and face some penalties or something like that.
That's a great idea. Port Adelaide Baseball Club.
Yeah, well, their season's wrapping up as well, so that might be a bit tough.
The USC Lions Soccer Club. And another North Haven Footy Club. So we've got options.
Okay. Yep.
So I'll do some more investigating this week.
Yep.
Yeah, can I tell you about Alice Cooper? How this happened?
Yes.
So TEG Live are a event organisers, and I've met a couple of people there through other stuff I've done. And I got a random message through one of them. Hey, mate, random question for you. And I'm thinking, okay, where's this going? Yeah. I don't know. And it was Alice Cooper's playing in Adelaide. He wants to wear a sporting top from every city that he goes to. Can you organise one? And then I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do here? Like, I could get him in a Thunderbirds top.
Yep.
Probably won't.
Yep.
Is he going to give it back? Like, who knows? So I went through all the clubs thinking which one would get the most audience kind of cheer.
For his demographic.
I think so.
Yeah.
And also the way that he normally dresses, Port was the perfect fit.
Sure.
I wasn't going to get him a Crow's top because I'm a Port ambassador.
It's a bit too colourful for him as well.
Yes. So it was as simple as me contacting Port and saying this is what's happening. He wanted Cooper 18 on the back.
Okay.
Don't know why number 18. Kane Corn suggested he was a big Mark Harwood fan or Dimitri Tumpus. Unsure.
Kane Corns.
Or Kane Corns. I think Kane was indicating that he was a Kane Corns fan, but that was his subtle way of doing it. But
right, gotcha.
I don't have a problem with Kane Corns. He's had a big week as well, the Corns fan.
They've had a huge week.
Yeah, they've had a big week. But you know what? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
No doubt.
In that situation, which I feel a bit sorry for them because, anyway, it's not our business.
No.
And it was as simple as me leaving it at Nova Reception. Alice Cooper's driver came and picked it up, and there he was, wearing it on stage.
That's amazing.
How does that happen?
The Guernsey that you organised for him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get you tickets.
No, they offered me tickets.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I said no.
Right. Oh.
He's going to wear a Brisbane Bullets one, an NBL top.
Okay.
Which will be interesting because the Bullets haven't had an okay season. They're not too bad. I would have gone to Brisbane Lions.
I was going to say Lions or Broncos or something like that, maybe.
Or a Queensland Rugby Union State of Origin. Queensland, not Rugby Union State of Origin.
League, yeah. That's probably the safer bet.
I think so, Matt. Yeah.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Did you hear about Bernard Tomic? Got beaten in 39 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So I reckon this is a good one to unpack because I reckon there's people like him. There's a bit of curiosity about it as well.
Yep.
Who are good at something, but they just don't give a shit.
Care.
Now, I think I like what happened with Nick Kyrgios
He's
this year.
turning. He's changing.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of Kurt Tippett about it. Now, Kurt Tippett was a gun footballer, but he just didn't love footy.
No.
So that's not his fault.
And does the pressures of coming through at such a young age do that? You burn out.
I see what you did there. You burn out because his name's
Bernard.
Bernard.
That's right.
Bernard out, Tomic. Good kisser, though. No.
What, does your sister know that one too?
No. Oh, jeez. Every time I see Brett Lee, mate, far out. There's another story about Brett Lee we're not allowed to talk about on this podcast. We'll get sued.
Tell me later.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I don't know. He's an interesting... I think people have forgotten about him as well because everyone's focusing on Millman and Kyrgios,
Barty.
Ash Barty.
I mean, that's a good way to get your name back in the headlines. Get flogged 39 minutes.
I know. And he was on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out Here. Hey, do you watch Married at First Sight?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
They're all different, hey?
Very interesting setups there. I often wonder how I'd go on a show like that.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm strangely addicted to it, but it seems like they've all got a type of person that they cast for it. Like, they're all pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect, but...
No. That Ivan guy, he kills me.
Oh, yeah.
I find him hilarious.
They're all a bit weird.
Yeah. I'd love to have a beer with a few of them, though.
Really?
In a social environment?
No.
Yeah. Just pick their brains.
I don't think I like socialising.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I get to talk to you every week.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, let's go.
Okay. Let's go have lunch.
Hey, how do people hit us up on the socials?
Okay, so facebook.com/bestteammen and at bestteammen on Twitter.
Okay. I'll be here next week. I'm doing the Women's World Cup
Okay, where's that kickoff?
Sydney.
Okay,
Then I've got to go to the Boomers. So we've got to do this early next week.
we can do it any day you want.
Okay, it's been great. I reckon this has been one of our best ones because we've researched.
Yes.
You've done your homework.
Yes.
You've bought a pad, which you probably won't use again.
Stole it from right there. I didn't actually bring it.
Okay. Stole a pad.
Stole a pad.
We've got great stories. We come with good stories.
I like our stories.
Yeah. And we've got a venue.
We do have a venue. So next week we'll have a date. Oh, yes. It's getting real. I also think they do a thing called Alma TV, sort of like a street talk type setup.
Yep.
They want us to host that as well for them. So we'll do that.
So what we could do is we could do a street talk and go, hey, you looking forward to seeing Maddie and Jared back at the Alma? And the people go, what do you mean? Who are they? We'll go, yeah, sick. No worries. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Are you going to ask me about my love life?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay. Hey, thanks to Ozcast Network. Don't forget podvertising. If you want to learn more about it, go to our last episode /round 3. Andy Martin from Ozcast Network tells us everything about that. It's a brilliant way to advertise through podcasts because everybody's doing podcasts, everybody's listening to them. So it's a great way to spread the message of your brand. And it can be tailored to whoever you want to speak to as well. So podvertising is going to be massive. Well done to the Ozcast Network as well. I saw during the week doing some great stuff with SA Health. So they are growing. Andy and Liam, great stuff. See you, mate.
See you, mate. Have a great week.
Hey, do a good official goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right, see you. That's shit.